Hi there, it's Live Prepper, and that's a simple question when you think about it. We watch the news, and you'll see how this one got beaten, how this one got murdered, how this one got that. And it seems to be the media helps create this problem. They say, well, it's news. It's news. But they choose what they want to put on the news. Is bottom line. Do you feel that the media helps create the problems we're having? I'm not saying the problems are not there, but they seem to want to focus on one basic race or the other, basically. It's saying that when children go missing, or young people, usually it's a pretty white person, or cute, or whatever, good looking. They don't post about a missing Chinese child or a Mexican child so much, or African American child, whatever. But they seem to want to focus on these little blonde hair, blue eyes, or the girl next door kind of girl, or the girl or the boy next door look. They seem to decide on which one they want to focus on, while many of the other children are just missing children are just set to the side. And that's the truth, and you're right about it. And then you got the other situation. Every time something happens, they use they focus on the African American situation. Seems to be more than anything. So they create a fire underneath it. And you got all these people rallying together. And the sad thing about it, a lot of them are really not there for that person. They're there to steal and rob and do and everything. And it don't matter what race it is, because you'll see all different races up in there rattling for that person because that person got murdered or whatever. But the media seems to focus on those particular race of people for that reason. They seem to focus on that more than they would on something else. One gentleman was had Down syndrome. He was white and he got choked to death, and he was in the news and the media about it. But then it kind of faded out because to them it wasn't newsworthy. What it is basically is wasn't enough people raising a stink, as you could put it. They encourage. I think the media helps create much of these problems that we are seeing. So it's media has made it to the point where it's all right to be this way, but it's not all right to be that way. Basically, they're out to get the news at no matter what cost or what price. And then you've got these other people who's going to jump on the bandwagon to get into the media and run down there and say, "Hey, here I am." So, do you think the media is actually creating more of this hatred, more of these problems? That they are out to sell their newspapers, they're out to sell their internet papers, they're out to sell the news, and they decide on what is important and what's not, what's going to sell. I mean, you'll hear more about someone doing something terrible than you will someone doing something good, because someone doing something good don't sell news. The African American community already has a great deal of mistrust among their own. I mean, they're killing their own people. They got the gangs, they got the issues. And this is not something I'm talking from being a white person. I'm talking about this from other black people, African American people who has talked about this. African American preppers who's talked about the mistrust that's among their own communities. Is the bond is not there in many ways. And then there is a bond. I want to tell you what, many of them knows who their aunts and uncles and cousins, brothers and sisters are. They can get in church and sing from their heart the music. They know the music. They don't even have to. I do. I had to pull the book out. But it doesn't matter what race. It really doesn't. The media. chooses and picks what they feel is newsworthy. That's how it goes. You'll have occasional, during the Christmas holidays, you'll have people talk about good deeds during that time when someone doing something other, and that's fine, and it's on there during the Christmas holidays. But they seem to want to focus on just certain things. Well, this one's going to get mentioned a whole lot more because this tends to be more newsworthy. People want to hear about this. This one here ain't quite as newsworthy, but it would happen. It was a lot worse, but they're just not interested in it. Just whatever. She's okay looking. She's not real cute girl. This one's cuter. This one will sell because everybody will relate to that one. This one come from a poor dirt family. Could barely had a pot to piss in. Didn't know where their next meal was coming from. Well, they kind of look like a bunch of hillbillies and inbreds. And, they don't look good enough. But this one here comes from a good family. And they're willing to offer a $20,000 reward. This is where we're going to go. Yeah, well, this and here, he's a known gang member. He's done this and he's done that, and blah, 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 blah. But we're going to play him up as an angel and everything. We're going to make every cop in the United States bad. Every one of them. And there's a lot of them that's crooked. Yeah, that's true. There's those that's crooked. Then there's those that lose their temper and they have enough. They do things they shouldn't do. And the video only shows certain things. They don't, you go by what you're seeing on the video. And many of them should lose their jobs. Many of them should go to prison for what they've done. Because it's not right. Because they're there to protect the people and not to harm them, not to beat them, not to rape them, not to murder them. They're not to steal from them. They're supposed to be there to help and protect the people who pays them for this, and that's paying out the tax money. So do you think the media is really creating more hatred? It's creating more problems. It's creating more insecurities. People used to be able to leave the doors open and sit out on a porch more. Now you're seeing bolted doors and bars on the windows. You're seeing more things now than you used to because people watches all this stuff. And they're seeing this stuff, what's happening, these riots, these attacks, these murders, these stories of gloom and doom around the world is making people afraid even more than it was before. So do you think the media is creating hatred and creating problems and focusing on just the things that they feel would make news? So this is Life Prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless y'all, and tell me what you think.